Mr. Chairman. 32 Americans have died out of 438 total sickened after receiving contaminated steroid injections produced by the New England Compounding Center, or NECC. Additionally, approximately 14,000 patients in 23 states have been exposed to potentially contaminated injections produced by the same pharmacy. This case represents a catastrophic failure by the regulatory agencies that are charged with protecting patients from unsafe drugs. Such a failure is unacceptable, and we're going to examine what happened in order to determine what needs to be done to prevent it from reoccurring. The compounding pharmacy that caused these patients' deaths and illnesses has a long history of problems with product safety and compliance with state regulations. These problems began almost as soon as NECC first received its pharmacy license in the late 1990s, when complaints began to be made about the sterility of the products and its practices around the requirement for individual patient prescriptions. Both the FDA and Massachusetts Board of Pharmacy became aware of the problems with NECC over a decade ago. They jointly inspected NECC's facility and held multiple meetings about the problems they discovered. The Massachusetts Board entered into a consent decree with NECC in 2006, and later that year, FDA also issued a warning letter to NECC. Despite the multiple warnings, state and federal regulators failed to continue to monitor NECC and take the steps that could have prevented the current situation. In particular, the Massachusetts Board should have known from its numerous inspections of NECC's facility that it was operating a large-scale drug manufacturing operation. That information, coupled with repeated complaints highlighting NECC's pattern of failing to require valid prescriptions for specific patients, clearly contravened Massachusetts regulatory requirements for compounding pharmacies. Even after receiving multiple complaints about the sterility and safety of drugs compounded by NECC, there is no evidence that the board made any effort to even follow up and inspect NECC's facility from 2006 until 2011. State boards of pharmacy have explicit authority over the practice of pharmacy, including compounding products for individual patients. States like Massachusetts also have clear and unequivocal authority to inspect, suspend, and revoke pharmacy licenses. While there have been litigation and conflicting court decisions around federal legislation enacted in 1997 to differentiate between compounded and manufactured products, this ambiguity alone cannot be blamed for this tragedy. FDA can inspect any facility that manufactures, processes, packs, or holds products for interstate commerce and has authority over unapproved new drugs in interstate commerce. FDA also has the ability to take action against misbranded or adulterated products. NECC was clearly operating outside its pharmacy license and violating state laws requiring individual prescriptions. NECC also looked like it was operating as a large-scale drug manufacturer, pretending to be a pharmacy in order to avoid FDA regulation. In every warning letter and legal brief the Food and Drug Administration has ever issued concerning this very type of conduct, including a 2006 warning letter to NECC, the agency said it had clear authority to regulate this very type of conduct. I hope today we can find out why these state and federal authorities were not used to prevent this tragedy. The committee is and will continue to investigate NECC's conduct and the oversight of both FDA and the Massachusetts Board of Pharmacy. We've sent letters to FDA, the Massachusetts Board, and NECC. We've received over 10,000 pages of documents, which are now part of the record, which show NECC has a history of not complying with state and federal law. We expect to receive more documents in the coming weeks and will leave no stone unturned. I want to take a moment to recognize the long-standing interest of my colleagues, Senators Roberts and Burr, regarding pharmacy compounding. They've been leaders in this area since the late 1990s and released a draft of pharmacy compounding legislation with former Help Committee Chairman Kennedy in 2007. Many other members of the Help Committee also have a strong interest in this matter. Senator Alexander's home state of Tennessee has been hit particularly hard by the current outbreak. I know that Senators Franken and Blumenthal have strong views. Numerous members of the Help Committee signed oversight letters requesting the information from the Food and Drug Administration, the Massachusetts Board of Pharmacy, and the New England Compounding Center. The Help Committee worked very effectively and in a bipartisan manner to reauthorize the FDA user fee legislation earlier this year. I'm confident we can all work together to arrive at a common understanding of this problem and its solution. I'm also interested in hearing from Dr. Casey Thompson of the American Society of Health System Pharmacists on our third panel. Many patient populations and specialties require compounded products, including pediatrics and hospice. Some state pharmacy boards, like Wyoming's, also do their jobs effectively. I hope he can comment on the benefits of traditional pharmacy compounding and the strengths and weaknesses of pharmacy regulation by the states. Lastly, I want to thank Dr. Bell from the CDC and Dr. Kainer for attending today. Without your hard work, I understand this could have been much worse. Patients all over the country owe you thanks for immediately acting upon hearing about only one case. Thank you, Chairman Harkin, for holding this important hearing, and I look forward to learning more about how this tragedy occurred in order to see that it's not repeated in the future.
Thank you very much.